the left can't help but do things that are essentially what normal people consider evil, right? They can't help but take the bad guy's side. They were taking the bad guy's side during all the BLM riots.
Yep.
They were on the side of the people that were literally rioting. The vice president was sending out messages for a GoFundMe to get people that had been arrested, get them bail money.
Bro,
They
made the orcs good guys.
Yeah.
In Lord, literally, Tolkien's like, orcs are just an embodiment of evil. And they're like, when we rewrite this, we're going to make the orcs relatable.
We're going to humanize them. Look, anytime anyone talks about Helldivers or Starship Troopers, they take the bug side. Take the bug side.
You know what's really funny is that before they made, I think Rings of Power was the series on Amazon, where they made the orcs into like regular people to sympathize with. There was a meme going around for a long time where it's Lord of the Rings and they're like, the orcs are about to storm the gates of Gondor. And they're like, well, let them in. Don't be racist.
Yeah.
And then they literally made it. For those that don't know, in Rings of Power, it got roasted because Tolkien I'm not a big Lord of the Rings person, but the general idea was that like, I think the story is that elves were kidnapped, tortured, and turned into orcs or something. Or is that Uruk-hai? I don't know. But they were manifest evil by Mordor, made from dirt or something. And then they make the Rings of Power. And they're like, nah, orcs are people who are scared and fighting for their resources. And they show orcs with babies and like wives. And everyone was like, is this a joke? They were just supposed to be one-dimensional bad guys. But the left got a hold of it and said, nah, we're all about diversity. They're actually good guys.
It's ridiculous.
They actually like being the bad guys.
Yeah.
Well, take a look. My favorite example is Captain Marvel. In Captain America, the story is young man desperately wants to join the military and lies to try and join the military. And then during a training exercise, throws himself on the grenade, sacrifices himself to try and save his friends. Captain Marvel, she always had the power. It was suppressed by a man, and she robs a guy for telling her to smile. And that's what they think is good.
Wow.
They like being the villains.
Mm-hmm. They believe that they're oppressed. So whenever they violently act out, they think that and whoever they side with is the oppressed person.
Right.
They believe that. So if that person violently reacts or acts out, then it's justified because whoever they're acting out against was their oppressor or is in line with their oppressor.
I mean, that's obviously their entire approach to the whole Middle East conflict as well, right?
It's
the exact same thing, yeah.
It's the whole approach to life.
Yeah.
Well, you saw, like, after the shooting, you saw on Reddit people celebrating. They're saying, thank you for settling the score, because in their head, especially in the transgender community, in their head, the white, middle-class, Christian family is opponent number one, enemy number one, because those are the people that brought them into this world, and their life is suffering. Who are you going to blame for your life suffering? You're going to blame the people that brought you into this world, which is, families and children like this. And so that's like the enemy number one. Out of all the evil in the world, the number one group that they hate is just like normal, because that's what types of families they come from.
Did you guys see that Patrick Bet David surrounded by 20 anti-capitalists?
I didn't see the.
I saw a clip from this.
I think it was improperly titled. I think it's Patrick Bet David surrounded by 20 retards. Because, and I will say this, while PBD is largely correct, there were so many moments where I was like, he could have actually just hit a grand slam. Like, they set him up, but he didn't go for the debate talking point death blow. But you have all these people that do not understand the function of economics, work, labor, or otherwise. And so I was watching this and I was like, well, we're cooked. These young people who are anti-capitalist. We're saying, my favorite question that was asked of PBD was, how much money would you need to feed and house everybody, in the country or whatever? And that was a layup. That was a freebie for PBD to destroy anti-capitalist ideology. And instead he asked her about what it means to be communist or something. This person, when they asked the question, how much money do you need to feed everybody in the world? You know what my question is? How many calories are in a dollar bill? Do we know?
No.
Anybody? I'd imagine it's probably negative calories. Probably takes more money to digest the cloth paper than it does that. Oh, you didn't mean to literally eat the money. You meant how much food do you need and how much shelter do you need? But see, these leftist young people, not always young, don't understand you can't eat money. They think money turns into bread. That if you put $1 on the table, put a pillow over and go to bed, the bread fairy comes and takes the dollar and puts bread for you. Just magic. This is the mentality of the younger generations. The younger you get, the more likely they are to believe this. That money is like the food is just there. They literally were telling PBD that we're in a post-scarcity reality and that people like you, this is the PBD, are intentionally hoarding wealth to keep other people from eating.
It's ridiculous.
We are not post-scarcity at all. Someone had to make that bread, grow that wheat, harvest the wheat, and deliver it to the bakery where they could make the flour, smash the wheat into flour, or they probably just bought the flour from Cisco, and then make the bread and then sell to you. Leftists don't understand that money isn't food, and that if they had all the money in the world, they would not be able to buy a loaf of bread with it. This is the next generation that's coming up. So I'm kind of like, I look at that.
Well, I think
What are we going to do?
you see people you see people divorced from the mechanisms that create prosperity like throughout generations. Like baby boomers were the generation that effectively threw away the classical civilization of the Western Hemisphere. Like a large part was they were the first generation that permitted mass immigration, offshoring, like economic offshoring, introduced inflation, these sort of mass inflation through like the credit system and that sort of thing. So it's like a lot of times like, okay, yes, at Gen Z, it's a very practical thing. Like they just don't understand how food gets on the table. But you see this across generations that people in America are just completely divorced from the mechanisms that create civilization.
Every generation, you get larger and larger cohorts of people who are developmentally disabled. We'll say that. Would be nice. What I mean by that is what you described. They're divorced from the reality of what makes society function.
Yeah, and it's pertinent across all generations, at least since like after the World Wars. And also the composition of each generation has changed. Like boomers, they're much more cohesive, they're much more homogenous, and Zoomers are like very diverse in a whole array of ways. So it's like, yeah, you're gonna get a lot of different answers from a lot of different Zoomers on things than you would get from baby boomers, just by nature of like how diverse or lack of homogeneity you have among Zoomers.
You know what no one wants to tell you on the right or the left?
What?
Poverty is a requirement of a functioning society.
Yeah,
That's true.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.